Hello everyone, last time we were saving some lemurs, now it's time to jungle some Banquet. And I'm doing this in post-commentary for the first time in this one. I'll probably be doing live commentary again in the next segment of this. But this is a little bit of a longer level than the other ones. And it's also kind of a freewheeling one. This is one of the ones where they give you the option of switching between the four characters, and it's kind of open-ended. Obviously, there are certain things that you need to do before other things, but there are 10 tasks related to gathering the food for the banquet, and which is what they're explaining in this cutscene that I'm talking over. Yeah, but other than that, you're pretty much open to do it however you want, and so there is just kind of, you know, I wasn't really doing anything with any rhyme or reason. I was trying to do as much as I could with each character at once, so I wasn't constantly switching back and forth, but a good, I think more than half of them are gotten with Alex, which I've never realized playing this game. I don't know why they start you out with Gloria, because she, kinda can't do shit at the beginning of a lot of these. Except for, of course, the very first mission that I do here. But, yeah, I just figured that post-commentary would probably suit this level well. There's going to be another level like it a little bit later on, and I'll probably do something similar for that, because, to my knowledge, that level is even longer, but only by a little bit. And only just because some of the tasks themselves are a little bit harder, a little bit more complicated. None of them in these are particularly you know, super difficult or not straightforward or anything like that. But I think post-commentary for a video in this run is something that's much needed, because I don't know how the people watching have felt, but I've felt that my commentary in this LP has been a little bit lackluster by comparison, just because, I mean, for a lot of it, I've been on a weird schedule, as I've mentioned a million times, and that's kind of made it hard to stay on topic, especially with how much the levels throw at you in this game in a pretty short period of time. And just my normal penchant for sort of long and drawn-out ruminations on things in these videos, so I've had a lot of, unfinished thoughts and anecdotes that I, you know, just been kind of stupid, so figure this, still yawning, even though it's 4:30 p.m., but figure a post-commentary thing would be a good means of sort of getting some things that I wanted to have talked about. Oh my god, I don't even know what that sentence was. Never mind, you know what I mean. So in the last segment, or maybe the one before it, I'm not entirely sure, I remember that I was talking about how I have, and I think I've mentioned it in 3 separate videos now, that I have a lot of flashbacks to the movies of 2006, and more broadly 2004 to 2008 or 9. I just remember that was the period of time where, as a kid, I was following, animated movies very closely. I was watching a lot of the main theatrical released animated movies that were coming out and learning how they were made. And I was going to the movie theater very often, and so I was seeing all sorts of posters and trailers for movies that I never ended up seeing or didn't see till quite later because they were not age-appropriate for me. And it just gets me thinking a lot about how different that era of movies was, and I can't really put my finger on it. Both animated movies specifically and, like, more generally just movies, just mainstream, like, studio-released movies. And this movie that this game is based on is a good example of it. I don't know, they just had a different aura to them. They just feel different. They move differently. Like, it's especially stark when I watch, like, Finding Nemo versus Finding Dory, or The Incredibles versus Incredibles 2. Like, they just, like, computer animated movies, Pixar movies, feel different in 2003 and 2004 than they do in 2016 and 2018, respectively. And I mean, why wouldn't they? I mean, animated movies from, 1994 are much different than movies that came out in 2004. But it's not so much that I'm confused by the fact that they are different. I can never articulate exactly why and what I mean by that, but just in the way that they're paced, in the way that each scene feels, in the way that they were marketed, it was just different, and it's a different that I like more. Like, I think the way that scenes move and progress in the first Incredibles movie is much better than in Incredibles 2. And Finding Dory is like, I don't know, Finding Dory just feels like a lot of ideas all in a row, whereas Finding Nemo, even though you were going from set piece to set piece, there was something about it that it felt like a unified, flowing thing, and I really do think it has to do with how the scenes move between each other, because I don't know how to describe it. It feels more like a movie to me, the original. And again, that's the best way that I've found to describe it. I hope that someone knows what I'm talking about, but it's very interesting to think about, and I also really like how one of the things that has remained consistent, and I mean, it's no surprise why, but the thing that's remained consistent and in fact gotten a little bit worse is the amount of banking on, like, big star names in the voice casts of animated movies, which I think you can really find the genesis of that in Aladdin. Weirdly enough, another movie whose video game adaptation I've Let's Played already on here. Because the marketing of Robin Williams as, like, the central star of the picture, and, like, him being a voice actor, was very new for animated features. Disney animated features were not known for their celebrity voice cast. Their popularity was on the Disney brand and on the prestige of the picture. And, like, the quality of animation, obviously. But, so I think it's kind of started with that. And obviously that was something that Robin Williams fought hard against, and they completely fucked him over on that. I don't want to get into the whole, backstory of that. I think I might have already in some other form, but you can look it up. There's a great Lindsay Ellis video about it, about how Robin Williams requested that they not use the genie's likeness and his voice as the genie in more than a certain portion of the marketing for the film, because he didn't want to just be reduced to a corporate product, a corporate icon, and they completely ignored that and, didn't do what he wanted, and it sucked.
Nice to see you again as well.
But yeah, and then it sort of expanded with DreamWorks, with Shrek having Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy and Cameron Diaz, and then this movie has Ben Stiller and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith and David Schwimmer and Sacha Baron Cohen and Cedric the Entertainer. And then they just keep adding them in more and more movies, and now it's kind of like every major computer animated movie has to have, like, major movie stars in it. I will say that some Disney movies have managed to, like, turn that into something that the Hollywood, like, live-action studio system has long done, which is using those studio movie stars in your films, but the choices of which ones you have are more artistically and creatively inspired. Like, I would argue, like, Zootopia. The use of Jason Bateman and the other celebrity voices and Jenny Slate in that. Like, they're good choices for those characters, which is not to say that Chris Rock is a bad choice for Marty or Ben Stiller is a bad choice for Alex, but it's more apparent that it was the creative decision and not just, like, you know, these are the famous people of the day. Because if it really were, then every Disney movie would have, like, Dwayne Johnson and Scarlett Johansson, which are very similar last names, I just realized, in all of their movies, and they don't, but whatever. So I guess I'll mention some shit about this level. I've finished much of the Alex stuff that you can do. And yeah, as you can tell, like, it's a good chunk of the stuff in this level is you can just do it with Alex, or you have to do it with Alex. I mean, I think you can get that one in the tree with Melman, but whatever. And yeah, here's a hilarious move for Melman, just violently smashing your face into the ground.
Thank the great pea pod you're here, and you can head bash. Oh, this is looking good.
I'm afraid to ask.
These cockroaches are trying to steal our stash of noogie nuts for the noogie nut noogie smoothies. I need to get rid of them, but I'm too small. Oh, those roaches make me so mad I could just squeeze them really hard and yell at them. Ah!
Why can't
I love Mort in this game. He gets pretty fucking annoying in the movies, but he's very funny in this game.
See, the cockroaches aren't afraid of you because you're afraid of them. But if you gather what courage you have, you can wait for them to come and then head bash them. Yeah!
You said it, though. I'm scared of them.
Then you can stand in the middle of the Noogie Nuts mound. They'll form a kind of protective barrier. Yeah, that's it. That's right. And then bash the roaches when they come for the Noogie Nuts. Ha! That'll work!
Oh, that's gross.
There's more to that cutscene, but there's no use of delaying all of this. If I really stopped and smelled the roses for every interaction in this game, then we'd be here for a million years. I think I have done a run of this game where I let every single cutscene play out, and I think the end result was like a 4-hour-long run. But if you skip everything and you know where everything is and you don't fuck up ever in this game, I've beaten it in like under an hour. So this is a very quick little game if you're just blasting through it. But I also like to have fun, and some of the dialogue is funny, and this is a Let's Play, so I kind of want to show the game off a little bit. And there is, I think, the only Melman thing you can do in this. Melman is criminally underused, although we will be using far more of him in the next level.
You should have seen me out there.
Yep, Melman.
They give a lot of stuff to Gloria to do, and I don't know, I just don't find her a very fun character to play. She feels very strange to play. Most of her moves, I like the hip check, but the roll is very hard to control, and it's very hard to control her when she's in pepper mode. And I don't know, she feels a little bit stiffer than the other characters. I don't know why. Oh, I guess I'm doing Turtle Town first. I guess the one over here by the turtles you can get with anybody. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that she can barely do things. Like, she can't really jump that many places. There aren't many, like, good platforming things that you could do with Gloria. All you can really do is have mini games where you do the peppers and smash into shit, and, like, that's cool and whatever, but it's a very one-note thing for the character. Anyway, here's a very funny character that I love.
Oh, I'm just trying to get this fruit and... Oh, be still, my foolish heart.
Excuse me?
I'm Wilbur. You are the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. I must have you.
Oh, please. You've got a much better chance of picking up the fruit, and that's not looking too good.
Well, I just can't lift that much right now because I injured my knee earlier doing something really impressive. Hey, maybe you
I love that.
smash these
That line
melons
is
I
really
need
good.
to make my
But yeah, he needs
melon
to...
torte?
He wants your melons, so we're helping him with that. Wilbur will be back. He will not be missed, don't worry.
Okay, great.
Or,
We just
I...
have to smash
That
these
might not be the
melons
best,
quick.
the
That
phrase I
might
was
be
looking for.
right.
Whatever.
Otherwise,
He'll be back
fast.
with his
Smash the water.
trapezoidal belly button. And his weird little jowls on the side of his face. I like Wilbur, even though that cutscene includes a record scratch, which is one of my least favorite, like, joke things in children's media that is everywhere. And I guess not just children's media, but every kid show seems to have a record scratch. And it's like, come on, we're above that, even in 2005.
Much better.
It's like using Le Freak in a movie. Those are two downers for Toy Story 3, where the use of Le Freak and the record scratch. It's like, come on, those are old hat even for Disney in 2010. I think I've had some sort of melon torte or some kind of melon-like dish that looks a little bit like that one, and it's pretty good.
Hey, Marty.
The final thing is with Marty, and you need some power cards for it. And it's a great move. I love this move. It's the long jump. Spoilers for 5 seconds from now. Yeah, Marty is one of my favorite, probably my favorite character to play as, just with his moveset, and the long jump is one of them. I wish you kind of got it earlier. But you can go fucking flying. It really is a long jump. And I love how it makes absolutely no sense. You know, just a zebra can just glide out of nowhere in the middle of a jump. It's fine. But, I mean, you know, double jumping is in every video game ever, and that makes no sense. I mean, the fact that jumping is even a thing you can really do. It's like in GTA 5, the jumps are more like real life, where you get like 6 inches off the ground. Which sucks. Video games made me believe when I was a kid that you could do all sorts of jumping shit, that like regular human beings could be like parkour masters, and like I thought I could jump over like huge fences when I was a kid. I'd never tried because I would jump in real life and be like, oh, never mind, but I would always look at them and be like, ah, if I could just jump over that shit, I bet I could do it. Yeah, anyway, just to finish up what I was talking about earlier, it goes for all media and all movies from that mid-2000s era, but specifically animated films from that time. Just have a certain way about them that I miss, and I certainly has nothing to do with the fact that these were the movies I was consuming as a child during a time that I want to return to because childhood is great. Excuse me. But I just, stylistically, it appeals more to me. I'm not really sure why. might just be nostalgia, but I feel like it's a little more than that, you know? And if it is, then so what? That's my life experience, and it informs my opinions just like everybody else. So if I don't like it because it's not like what I grew up with, I'm just like every fucking adult before me, so that's not weird. Anyway, yeah, there's one just on the slide. It's better than the ones that are just sitting there. And here's this annoying-ass frog.
So wish to challenge me to a jumping contest, do ya? Think you can jump farther than me, can ya?
I didn't say anything about a jumping contest. We never even met before. Although, now that you mention it, yes, I guess I do think I can jump farther than you.
Ah, well, how's about we make a little contest out of it, uh-huh?
Yeah, this frog has a cutscene before every single time you have to jump, and they're all like 2 minutes long because it's just him being fucking snarky. But I wanted to mention, you handily beat the frog. I wanted to mention the joys of Blockbuster before this video goes out, because I mentioned it in the last video and then got distracted and didn't get to talk about it.
You still haven't seen my best jump yet.
Oh, your best jump yet? Okay, let's see it.
Feeling that's about to change, though.
Wow, this is a really good one. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't got shit to say now, bitch. I guess it's a little bit late in the video. I just wanted to mention that I loved going to Blockbuster with my family. I'll talk about it in more detail some other time, because I have lots of nice little Blockbuster memories. Yeah, but watch the cutscene.
Sir, we don't have a door to the jungle, much less a key.
Well, what can we give them then?
Well, it's a banquet, just give them food.
Ooh, good one. You know that key to the jungle thing, it gets sold. And what good...
I was surprised. This is the first time I've ever seen Julian's mouth move during this part of it, after he says, ooh, good one, and he turns back to you. Because on both the Xbox and PS2 versions of this game, he would just not, like, his mouth wouldn't move. So, I don't know if it's a GameCube thing or a ROM thing or what, but it's different now. So there you go, that's the end of Jungle Banquet, and the next level is Coming of Age. We're going to be dealing with some wormies and some existential crises, you know, just really cool things. And maybe then I'll talk about some Blockbuster shit if people are into that. Yeah, see you then.